living a peaceful life, a loving father. The former CIA agent reluctantly permits his 17-year-old daughter Kim to go on a trip to Paris. His daughter leaves with a friend, and his ex-wife and her new husband support it. But when they get to Paris, mobsters abducted his daughter and her friend with a prostitution and enslavement ring. The only lead he has is a brief transcript of a conversation from when his daughter called him in a panic. Once he arrives in Paris, he's able to determine the speaker's place of origin and the criminal gang he belongs to. He immediately demonstrates to everyone involved in the case that he will do everything it takes to get his daughter back. Brian Mills is a former CIA agent. He went to the gadget store to buy a present for his daughter's birthday. When he arrived at the party venue, he was stopped by his ex-wife, Lenore, due to an agreement they had. However, he was quickly approached by his daughter, Kim, who was happy to receive a karaoke machine gift from her father, as she dreams of becoming a singer. Unfortunately, her happiness was short-lived when she saw the expensive gift from her stepfather, Stuart, and she became happy with it instead. Back at his house, while arranging photos of his daughter, he was surprised by his former colleagues, including Sam, Bernie, and Casey, who came to celebrate and reminisce about past missions. Sam offered him a job as a private consultant with friends to a pop star singer, Shira. While rehearsing in the dressing room, Brian was amazed by her voice. He told the client that his daughter wants to be a singer and was about to ask for tips. Dejectedly, he was told pick another career. After the concert, the gate suddenly opened, and people rushed in. Brian immediately grabbed her to escape. However, they were attacked by a man holding a knife who was waiting in their way. Fortunately, Brian neutralized him. Brian saves the life of pop singer Shira. And he tries to comfort the shaken Shira. She thanked Brian for saving her, and she gives also the phone numbers of her management and vocal coach. Kim invited him to lunch with her and her mother. Meanwhile, she wanted to ask for permission to travel to Paris with her friend. Lenore arranged this with his new husband. However, Brian was not comfortable with it because of his concerns for his daughter's safety. Kim is unhappy with Brian for turning down her request to travel to Paris with her friend Amanda. Lenore felt the same way. So, Brian signs the consent form even though he is dubious, and with some conditions and reminders to follow, Kim approved. And he will be the one to take the young lady to the airport. When they arrive at the airport, although Kim claims they are on an art tour in Paris, their true plan is to watch U2. Despite knowing, Lenore remained silent. At the Paris airport, they meet Peter, a young Parisian. He desires to ride in a taxi together. With reluctance, Kim concurs. Using Kim's phone, they ask Peter to take their photo. After dropping them off, Peter extends an invitation to a party. Peter quickly calls two girls about 18 and provides the apartment's address. When Kim asks about the cousins, Amanda responds that they are taking a vacation in Spain. In their extreme happiness, Amanda played music loudly. While the worried father was calling, Kim wasn't able to pick her phone up due to loud noise. And Brian tried call Kim again. While Brian phones Kim, two men attack and subdue Amanda in their apartment. And Kim witnesses Amanda being abducted. While Brian was recording their conversation, Kim shares Peter with him. Kim is asked to go to next room and hide under the bed by Brian. And advises her to keep her phone on and to shout as much information as she can while he informs her that she would be taken. She yells, beard. 6 feet. Tattoo, right hand, moon and star. As directed by Brian. The kidnapper steals the phone. Brian threatens the kidnapper to let Kim go or he would locate him and kill him. The kidnapper says good luck. He quickly went to the residence of his ex-wife Lenore and her partner Stuart. Brian went there to gather some information and to inquire if Stuart was involved in what happened to his daughter. Not that I know, Stuart said. Brian asks a favor to Brian, to get him a plane to Paris. When Brian phones Sam, he discovers that the language is from a town in Albania. The kidnapper's voice communication captured on Kim's phone. They must be from Tropaja. Marco, mobster boss, running trafficking in women, they'd addict them to drugs and turn into prostitutes. Brian has 90 hours window to save Kim. On the plane, he repeatedly played the recording, most particularly the word good luck. Upon arriving in Paris, Brian immediately went to the Parisian apartment where friends Kim and Amanda were staying, to investigate what had happened and to gather some leads. Brian locates Kim's phone, and uses a picture Kim shot at the airport, to locate Peter. While Peter was victimizing young woman traveler again, Brian confronted him and asked about the two American girls. However, Peter's lookout pulled Brian away, leading to a fight. As the two fought, Peter eventually managed to run, but Brian chased after him later on. Peter runs as Brian pursues and gets killed, so Brian lost a lead. Brian contacts Jean-Claude from French intelligence, who provides him with the address where the Albanian gang is based. But he was warned not to make a mess, and he orders his men follow Brian. There, he pretended to be buying a woman and teased her, to provoke the mobster. Once he had placed a mic on him, he then negotiated and got into the car, listening to their conversation with the help of his hired interpreter. Based on what he heard in the conversation, he went to a construction site where he witnessed cubicles with drugged women being turned into prostitutes, while being purchased by the mobster's clients. He discovers Kim's jacket on a different female. He asked her, but she didn't respond because she was drugged. He confronted by the mobster, and he was forced to fight back. After the fight, he took the woman and put her in the car. They were shot at by the enemies as they drove away. And they flee from the Albanians. There was a car chase, and gunfire. Luckily, they managed to outrun them. He also managed to shake off Jean-Claude's men who were tailing him. He went straight to a hotel with the woman, where she was treated to counteract the effects of the drug injected into her. Jean-Claude wants to meet Brian, but Brian doesn't trust Jean-Claude and manages to get away from a trap created by Jean-Claude to capture Brian. Jean-Claude still wants to meet Brian. When the woman regained consciousness, Brian tried again to ask her where she saw his daughter. Based on her recollection, she gave him information, signs of the location of that house. He immediately went to the location and pretended to be a French intelligence agent. He had the mobsters read and translate the Albanian words "good luck" written on the paper. And he finds Marco with his distinctive accent "good luck." And he reminded him of what he said in their last conversation. At that moment, a confrontation ensued, leading to hand-to-hand combat, and gunfire. Brian shot also at the backup enemies trying to approach him. Brian shoots everyone but Marco. And when he reached upstairs, he was opening rooms with drugged women. In one room, he mistook a girl for his daughter, but it wasn't her. Then he discovers Amanda's lifeless body. Brian tortures Marco, who claims that Kim is a virgin, and they sell the virgin woman to make more money. Kim has been sold to St. Clair. When Brian visits Jean-Claude's home, he discovers that Jean-Claude is working with the Albanians for the money. He attempted to shoot Brian, but his gun had already been emptied of bullets. Brian shoots Jean-Claude's wife, and tortures Jean-Claude in order to get the address of St. Clair. In his guise as a police officer, he entered St. Clair's house. When he was not allowed entry, he took him down. Inside, he also pretended to be a waiter. He managed to enter where they were auctioning off the virgin girls. Kim, the new meat, is being auctioned off by St. Clair. Brian holds up a gun to force one bidder to outbid everyone else for $500,000. However, St. Clair captured Brian, restrains him, and says, "It's only business." St. Clair ordered his men to kill Brian by strangling him. Fortunately, Brian fought back, broke free from being tied up, and engaged in a struggle, eventually killing them. After eliminating the enemies, he approached the begging St. Clair. After announces Kim will be at the dock, Brian murders him. As the boat leaves the pier, Brian chases it, and climbs on board from a bridge. He fought with a guard, until he killed him. Kim and other females are being used as prostitutes. After he took care of the other bodyguards, it was noticed by the man who bid on Kim. He ordered the other bodyguards to hunt down Brian, but he fought back and killed them one by one. Before entering the room where Kim was, he was confronted by an enemy. He fought back, using his skills to knock him down and kill him. He finds an Arab sheik who had taken Kim hostage. Before he could speak, he shot him in the head. With tears streaming down her face, she said, "You came for me," then hugged her father. Back home, they were greeted at the airport by Lenore and Stuart, who were overjoyed and were full of gratitude for the rescue of their daughter from the hands of the traffickers, with the help of Brian. The following days, Brian takes Kim to meet Shira with her manager and vocal coach. For more videos similar to this, don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications. Thank you for watching.